Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, a film that caught me completely by surprise. Although, probably shouldn't have, as Universal Animation is clearly on the rise. What's up, guys? How you doing? Glad you stopped by. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, hey, grab a seat and stay a while. But do me a couple favors first. Go down and hit that subscribe button. Then go next door, ring that bell. Make sure it says all so you know when the next video pops up. Hit that like button. And before you head out, drop a comment. And if you're one of the regulars here, welcome back for another round. I ask that you also hit that like button. And before you leave, drop a comment. YouTube does love the comments. And of course, share the video out on all the socials. Okay, quick shout out again. Last night over with We Rank Stuff, I was over with Tyler the Redbeard, Static 2020, and Anya. Lots of fun talking about animated series. Definitely a lot of fun. Check that out. Link to all their channels will be down below in the description. Okay, we're just gonna jump right into this. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, a film that Universal initially wanted to just throw it out onto the Peacock streaming service rather than give it a theatrical run. Boy, are they glad that they decided to put this thing in the theaters, because after 110 plus days since its December 21st release, that's right, folks, this one was released last year at Christmas time, it has grossed over $481 million as a box office gross against a production budget of just $90 million, equaling a massive success for Universal. Just to put this into context, the two previous Disney Pixar films and the last Marvel live action film, all three failed to reach $481 million at the global box office. Just saying. But how? How could this little film that Universal didn't even want to put into theaters beat the mighty House of Mouse? Well, I've got a few reasons why I think it happened. And I'm going to tell you my thoughts on what I really liked about this film. That it's not just an excellent animated film. It's not just an excellent kid-friendly, family-friendly film. This is just an excellent story. So, possible spoilers ahead. First off, I personally, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is a sequel to a spin-off of the Shrek series of films. Now, I have not seen the previous Puss in Boots films, and I've only seen one Shrek film. And I don't have to. This film is a good enough standalone film that you don't have to go back and do all the homework to catch up and know who these characters are. It stands on its own merit, and you don't need to go back and watch these other films to avoid being lost. Kudos on that. Second is the story. Now, for a film that's marketed for kids, this film tells a very mature story. We have the legendary outlaw Puss in Boots, and through his life of adventures has played rather fast and loose with his choices, since cats have 9 lives. Well, we pick up at where we start with this story. Puss has just spent his 8th life and is confronted by a bounty hunter who ends up being Death. And Death wants that 9th life. Puss ends up having to go on the run, because in the first time in his life, he's afraid. And then upon hearing of a wishing star that has fallen to earth, which is capable of granting one wish, Puss sees a way to get his lives back, and by extension, his life back. So, what we have here, we have a race to get to this. The wishing star, where Puss is joined by former love interest Kitty Softpaws, and a talking dog dubbed Perito. This little team is going up against Goldilocks and the three bears because Goldie wants that wish, and they're also going up against now big Jack Horner, who wants that wish as well. So what we have is a race against time to try to see who can get to that wishing star first. Now, all three of these teams, they've all got their own individual interest as to why they want this wish. This is going to be the one thing that's going to make them happy. And as we find out throughout the film, that really this wish fulfillment isn't what it's cracked up to be when you stop and take a moment and just recognize what you have in front of you. Great story. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful story. Another thing is the cast. I mean, nothing needs to be said about the voice work of Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek. I could listen to them read the ingredients off of a Twinkie wrapper, and I'm entranced by it. Florence Pugh was very charming and fun as Goldilocks, but for me, the star of this story has to be Harvey Guillen as Perito. He's a dog who nobody wants, and he wants to be a therapy dog because he just wants to help folks, and he's always positive. He's definitely the heart and the humor of this story. And speaking of humor, the writers of this film are smart enough to know when to use humor and, more importantly, when not to use humor. As there's a scene where Puss in Boots is confronted by death and he runs off and he's having a panic attack, and Perito, just like dogs do, they know you're upset. He just lays his head on his chest and allows Puss to calm down. And the writers are smart enough to let you go on this quick little emotional journey and not have to undercut it by a stupid joke. I'm looking at you, Marvel, Thor, Love and Blunder. So, final thoughts on this film. This is an excellent film. This is a great story. It deals with family, dealing with your own mortality, dealing with your fears, and being content with what you got in front of you, and appreciating that. Just to kind of stop for a moment, smell the roses, and there's no magic required. You don't need that one wish, that one thing that's going to make you happy. Oh no. Just appreciate what you have around you. Excellent message. And again, this film was blissfully free of the message. You know what I'm talking about. So if I have to give this thing a score on a scale between the 1 to 10, this is a solid 8. This was excellent, and I highly recommend Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. But hey, these are just my thoughts. I'm going to turn it back over to you. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And thanks again for stopping by. Check me out. I will be having my episode 7 of season 3 of The Mandalorian. Oh, dear God. At least this season's almost over. On Friday, and I will also be over on Legion Talk, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, talking about the week in pop culture. Definitely check that out as well. And before you head out, quick reminder. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, hey, thanks for sticking around this long, and I appreciate that. And I will see you very soon. Have a great rest of your week, folks. Always have fun. Hashtag keep talking. And always keep that smile on your face. Toodles.